No. Good morning, welcome to the Tudor Cottage Diaries. This is the Tudor Cottage, these are my diaries. My name is Heidi and you are welcome here, and today in the garden we are going to look back and reflect on what was probably the driest summer on record. Certainly around here we are still in a hosepipe ban, which is really inconvenient. It splits and divide your perennials. That's exactly what I've been doing. I've been making use of the free plants in my garden by going around, finding some good quality parent plants, digging them up and splitting through. And I've done a short on a couple of the plants that I've been splitting. The agapanthus I've done some of my hostas, and I've now started on my hellebore collection. Later on I will do my asters, but in the meantime, shall we have a look around the garden together and have a look and see where the progress has been made and things that I need to do in preparation for spring 2026. I'm going to drink my cup of tea and then we're going to crack on. Yeah, so this border was really successful and has stayed in flower throughout the season. However, coming through to this border, absolutely struggled here. So we've got a patch of dahlias that have got out of control. The rhododendrons and the azaleas and the camellias really struggled. It's got quite weedy and overgrown. And these asters here I'm going to dig out because they just look such a mess all season. However, the mahonia is in flower and the bees are absolutely loving that. One of the things I planted to bring me joy hasn't done that well, and that's the lavender border. Despite the weather, these have not done well at all. In actual fact, probably more have died than survived. And I only planted as far as here because of how badly they were doing. So that has been a failure, and that hopefully I can improve on that next year. The long border has been okay, considering it wasn't really watered. I think everything has survived. We have got quite a lot of seeds on the magnolias, which I have to say is the first year for that, and they look amazing when they come out. So yeah, that's interesting. The roses have been okay in this border, but this has been the latter part of the year since we've had rain that I've seen an improvement in this border. The roundabout has got some colour in it, but not the colour that we were expecting from the dahlias. So they didn't come through until probably mid-September. So yeah, the dahlias are starting to show now, but they are not the size that they normally are. Everything else in here has survived, including the grass. These are the cafe au lait dahlias, my favourite ones, and we are just about to have some flowers open. You can see here and here. Lincoln is beautifully demonstrating the lack of plants in this area underneath the massive cedar tree. So we have lost loads of ferns here. I've dug them out and I've put them in pots hoping to save them, but alas, I don't believe I can. Epimediums are doing okay, and the occasional bramble are doing okay in this area. Behind the shepherd's hut, the cyclamen are doing really well. The chickens have dug around a bit here, but they love the cyclamen flowers anyway. This plant's a bit scorched. Then we've got the geraniums, and then we've got the hemaranthus, the witch hazels here, which are transplanted from the front garden, and they're doing beautifully well. Round to the front where this paniculata is not doing well at all. I'm going to trim the dead heads off of that. It's had a water, it's had a feed, so hopefully next year it will have a better year. So sweeping the drive, we have this long border of shrubs and some herbaceous perennials, some heathers mixed in there. They've done really well despite the weather. The lack of rain. It's been the driest season on record, and we are still in a hosepipe ban here. Going through this short border that is edging our driveway, you can see that we've got lots of berries coming through. The Choicea Sundance has really enjoyed the fact that it's been in the sun most of the year. And then we've got a David Austin rose here, which is Emily Bronte, which was purchased from a half price sale at In Excess, and it is doing stunningly well and looks very glossy. The berries on the Cotoneaster are amazing, and that's going to keep the birds and the wildlife fed throughout winter. So I'm really pleased about that. So yeah, it seems the berries have done well this summer. Looking at the roundabout, the dahlias were very late to the show, so they've only started flowering mid-September. We've got some azaleas in there at the front that are doing okay, and the asters, you can just see the star asters, those are going to be divided going into later part of autumn. These dahlias here are Cafe au lait, and they have not flowered yet, and this is their first year in the garden. The front wall of the cottage is still in lots of colour, and I'm keeping this going with regular feeds and regular watering. Really pleased how this has came across this year, and it has survived. This is the only area that we really put a lot of watering into. We decided to discard the hanging baskets probably at the beginning of August time because it was too laborious to keep them going from the with the watering point of view. The runner beans and the wisteria have done okay. So the runner beans better, and we've had lots off of them. The wisteria's had a really good chop back. That has really struggled with a lack of water this year. The side garden benefited from a soaker hose, so I put that in sort of midway through spring, towards the end of spring, and we have used the well to pump water through, and that's to keep this very dry border going, and I'm really pleased with the success of that. Look at this Brunera Jack Frost, wow. But there you can see a casualty there in the Pyrrhus, and Pyrrhuses have not done well this year in the garden. So there's one there that is dying, and the other one there that's not doing well at all. Hydrangea border, there's a little bit of colour in here, and it's done okay. And again, I put that down to the soaker hose that we put in I think it was mid to late spring actually. And then coming around here, we've added more hydrangeas into this area of the garden because this was really dry. All the perennials had died in here, and we had to accept the fact that it's under an oak tree, so therefore wasn't getting enough light, and it was always in the shade and wasn't getting enough water. The well has enjoyed the shade of these oak trees, and my little moss garden has taken off with the ivies, and I'm really pleased with how that's looking with the wood here. Looking down the back garden, these pots are brand new, and these are from a reclamation centre near us called Radcliffe's. They were £30 each, and we've built the pillars up to give them a bit more of a statement piece going on the garden. And you can kind of see that we're using the concrete here, we're using the concrete in the bird bath and in the sundial, and then there's a planter here on the pond that's in concrete. And that means the colours for the garden at the moment are brick colour, concrete, a hint of cream, and the sage green, and that's the colorway we're using. So the rust color of some of the obelisks and things like that is echoed in the brick. The green on the obelisk is echoed in the pots. It's kind of like a sagey green, and then we've had hints of white for things like the beehive and the patio furniture set. Spring and autumn seems to be the best time for this garden, and it seems to be where all my colour comes through, and I'm really pleased with how it's going out here at the moment. So we've got lots of colour coming through from the late perennials, even delphiniums making a show here. We've got agoras just here at the front, and this border looking a little bit weedy, but this is the new border, and this is where most of the split plants have come down. So my agapanthuses have come in here, my heucheras have come in here, my hellebores are coming into this area. Looking down at the Michaelmas daisy there, that is an absolutely stunning plant, but it is due to be split and divided, and then I can use that across in other parts of the garden. And we still have got holding on to the fig tree some embryo figs, which hopefully will be good to eat next year. And again, dahlias late to show, so these are starting to come into flower now. And again, these are the cafe au laits and cafe au lait twist. I put loads of resource into this area, the shrubby garden area, and this has been landscape fabric, and basically we are trying to get rid of ground elder. So all the shrubs in this area have been transplanted from friends' gardens, my parents' garden, or from down in the rose garden, and yeah, they've been transplanted in the hottest the hottest summer in years, and I've just had to make sure that we've kept those water from the well. I think now's the time to look back and reflect, and actually I'm so excited for the future for this garden. I can see where plants are growing, evolving, and now I'm starting to split plants. I'm starting to get free plants, and I'm starting to then be able to multiply, and it creates that illusion of more space. When your eye is seeing patterns in the garden, it does create that illusion. Yeah, the rose garden, let's go and have a look. So we're now looking at the rose garden, looking at the messiest segment of the rose garden. All of this has been dug out other than the roses, and it was my birthday on the 18th, and I've got 7 David Austin roses on back order. These are coming on sort of late October, beginning of November, and then I can redevelop this area and get some more plants in here. And what I was talking about is subdividing plants so that we create an illusion of symmetry as we're going through these 4 areas. We're going to have to do a lot of pruning on these trees. They are getting too large and they are overshadowing the rose garden, which is causing problems for us. But yeah, this area, it still looks pretty. There's still dahlias down here. Let me show you some of them. I've definitely got lots of work to do here, and that will take a great deal of my spare time as we go through winter, autumn and winter. But on the whole, we survived. On the whole, I think the garden will live another day. Thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed. Please click like and subscribe to join me on my journey.